What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the data points, what moved it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi closed 0.59% in the green, 26.05 the high, 24.95 the low. Today was a absolute crazy roller coaster. Did see a lot of volume though, so 50.05 million shares being traded, which was rather good. Coming from a macro standpoint, we just had some kind of minor data points. So mortgage applications, mortgage market index came in a little bit lower than the previous, but still does signal that there's a lot of good demand. Tomorrow is a big day on a side note for data. So we have GDP, PCE, initial jobless claims. So that's going to be the big one. But today, it was a massive roller coaster. And honestly, I know I kind of cover the day-to-day, what really moves the stock and stuff like that. But during the trading day, when I was doing a video, pretty much 10 minutes after I did anything, it was pointless. It was outdated of a video because first thing, we did have a lot of optimism. So Trump was saying that he wasn't going to use force in regards to Greenland. Market loved that, really started to move higher. He just kind of gave the saying that, like, if you say no, we'll remember, blah, blah, blah. Well, it turns out an hour later or an hour and a half later, Denmark did reject Trump's demand. So of course, this is how you're seeing kind of the crazy price action. So you had a little bit of optimism. Denmark says no, goes down, and then we start going higher because right over here, we have Trump will not impose February 1st tariffs due to Greenland deal. This is one absolute crazy roller coaster of a day. And plus, during the beginning part, when we were in somewhat euphoria, Trump also mentioned that the stock market will double. If that actually does come to fruition in his term, he's going to be most likely the poster boy of any bull market in the foreseeable future for decades to come. So definitely today was a hard day to kind of strategize and make sound decisions because, yeah, all analysis was out the window 20 minutes later. But nonetheless, SoFi didn't put out any news today. There was a 13G right over here that was submitted first thing, which did signal good old JPM did make a brand new position of 64.9 million. So big money is buying SoFi behind the scenes, which is definitely a good thing. And so, yeah, that's one of many institutions that have been increasing their position. So this is the latest in 13Fs. A lot of the bigger players are going to be at the end of January. So we'll kind of just have to wait and see for those. But it is fair to assume that institutions will be continuously increasing their position as what they've done quarter over quarter. It kind of goes up anywhere from around 10 to 15%. So definitely good to see institutions backing up the bus. In regards to shorts, they did return 1.1 million shares, but even when it came down to them, they were kind of a roller coaster. First thing, they were hitting it hard first, so increasing a little bit, but yeah, then they kind of just said, screw it, I'm out for the day and whatever else. So they did return 1.1 million shares, which is always good to see because there is more than 10 million shares available to be shorted. So if they really did feel that there was legitimate fear, they could easily double, triple, quadruple down, but they're not. So that's something, again, very positive. 9.2% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 114 million shares overall are being shorted. Still see some signs of naked shorting. So hopefully the SEC does something. I'm not going to hold my breath for that, but hopefully they kind of do figure something out. But nonetheless, looking at the options, 35 million in calls, 13 million in puts, 45% of all the options being done were bullish in nature. So that's definitely good to see, a certain level of optimism. So far, the implied move is still sticking to roughly around that 8.99%. So earnings is coming right around the corner. So for those of you that are playing options with it, let me know what your kind of move is. If you're kind of being optimistic, or are you hedging? Like, where do you see SoFi going post earnings? But coming from a bull standpoint, for this week, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that 26.50 to 27. For the week of their earnings, roughly between the 29 and 30. That's what's anticipated. Bears are anticipating for this week to be kind of between that 24 to 24.50. Most likely they are hedging that tomorrow the big data points are going to be a flop and thus will kind of move lower. So tomorrow is going to be largely based on the data. And then bears are anticipating for the week of their earnings for it to be sub 24 to 23.50. So definitely based on that, there is a lot more upside than down. These are some of the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. Interestingly enough, the large ones that did occur were mostly selling. You did see a couple pockets of buying right over here. That was at the beginning part when there was a lot of euphoria, but clearly institutions as well just said, F it, like this is a lot of too much volatility for me. Dark pool, you did see a couple big transactions. So one was 2.9 million, 2.3, 2.06, 1.8. So for those of you that watch my video daily, you'd kind of know that these are somewhat smaller. So even though we did see some pretty good volume today, so 50 million, 46 is the average, most of it came from algorithmic trading. So kind of obviously the AI picks up on this being a positive, pushes it higher, picks up on the whole Denmark rejecting it, pushes it lower. So algos were very, very active today. With it closing at 25.64 though, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 25.25 is a strong support. When it was going down today, I wouldn't really consider that like end all be all, like extremely strong support, but in theory that is again something to watch for. This is a 4-hour chart, so not crazy strong, but still, for those of you that want a dollar cost average or swing trade, 25.25 followed by 24.01. Flip side, 27.26 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So given SoFi's volatility, this is why we have some pretty wide gaps here. Aside from all that fun stuff, quickly popping back over to the chart. On a side note, during the overnight or after hours right now, it is up 0.62%. So pretty good for that. So maybe this is the green light for us to really move higher after this fun day. But nonetheless, there really hasn't been that much in articles really coming out associated to SoFi. No new analyst ratings as of late. Most likely, I guess all the bears and bulls will be just waiting for next week to give their last minute ratings before SoFi's earnings, because that obviously it always makes sense to do that in SoFi's case. But on the actual chart, it still doesn't look too optimistic. It still could go in either direction. Even though we did have a fairly strong close, it still is below that 10-day moving average as well as 50 and 100. So we really do need that data tomorrow. So GDP, PCE, and initial jobless claims to be positive. Thus, we can kind of move higher from here. One big thing that's happening tomorrow after hours is going to be Intel's earnings. So the big ones for this week were Netflix as well as Intel. So after hours Thursday is going to be Intel's. So hopefully all that comes in line with expectation. Then again, we could potentially get to that at least 10-day moving average that's sitting at right now 26.62. And if we're able to, for whatever reason, get above that, then it'll be the 50-day moving average. Most likely, I do anticipate leading into the earnings, us sitting right below that 50, because that 50 is a very big deal for SoFi. It's kind of struggled with that for a while now. So that is where I kind of feel that we might be landing leading into the earnings. So just my prediction, of course, but stochastic RSI, very oversold. So a good piece of news coming out associated to SoFi or the broader market, in theory, should really push SoFi higher, as well as the broader market. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Did you buy today? Did you sell? I was actually very tempted to pull the trigger at 25. I think it was like at 25.05. I did choose Netflix instead, so I kind of went that route. So I bought Netflix and a couple others. But if SoFi, for whatever reason, does break below that next fib level, then I'll be a buyer at that stage. But as I already mentioned, I've been selling a lot of kind of laddered puts, so I'm good for that. So I think overall that would give me another about 8,000-ish shares. So I do have a lot of options kind of stuck in limbo. Ideally, I just get the premiums, but if you don't know options, really suggest in taking the time to research that. Just sell some puts because yeah, it can make you either some good premiums or you get the stock at a cheaper price. So it is a win-win for long-term investors. So let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. If you're looking for some solid on-point buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.